Hi everyone, I am Dr. Saloni Voragala, a consultant dermatologist and cosmetologist treating skin and hair issues. I work at Dr. Shade's Skin and Hair Clinic in Juhu. Today I am here to talk to you about basic skincare routine and also to discuss how to layer your products in your routine. At the end, I am also going to share a few tips on basic acne issues. To start with, basically first you need to know your skin type. As you know, there are so many products out there in the market, but not every product may suit you or not every product may have a good formulation. So it is very important to know what your skin needs, what your skin type is, and what your issues are. Also, many a times we tend to adapt to the skin routine, or we tend to try out products that our family or friends use. But remember, the same product that suits others may not suit you. Also, you don't need to have a very elaborate skincare routine. Remember, less is more. Do only what is absolutely required. Let's start by discussing the types of skin. So I basically divide skin types into 7: dry, oily, combination, normal, acne prone, sensitive and aging skin. So what is a normal skin? A normal skin looks clear, shiny and the tone is even. It is smooth to touch. The texture is quite soft. In a dry skin, the person may feel stretchiness on the face. It may be very rough and dry to touch. There may be maybe a granular feeling. It may also have an uneven skin tone. Oily skin basically feels very greasy and sticky all over and again even after repeated face washing. It may also look very dull with uneven skin complexion. What is a combination skin? In a combination type, your T-zone, that is your forehead, your nose area and the area around the mouth may feel greasy or oily, whereas the remaining parts of the face may be either dry or normal. In a sensitive skin, a person may have a combination of dry to normal skin, but it may feel very irritated, very sensitive, very stretchy. You may also feel a lot of warmth, especially on the central part of the face, on sun exposure, on any kind of heat exposure, on exercise. You may also turn red in these areas. You may flush on sweating, on heat exposure. Many a times products may not suit you. You may feel very irritated or there may be a burning sensation. Not just that, most people with sensitive skins may have an appearance of open pores. Next, acne prone skin. An acne prone skin may be either dry or oily or combination. But you may notice recurrent occurrence of pimples like the big red ones or too many blackheads and whiteheads. Now remember, blackheads and whiteheads, which are known as comedones in medical terms, are stage 1 of acne, from where your acne may flare up to different stages. The next is an aging skin. An aging skin looks dull. There is sagging of the skin. There may be fine lines or wrinkles. I believe in 3 fundamentals of skincare: cleansing, moisturizing and protection. But first, before going through every step, let's see what kind of products should be chosen for what kind of skin type. As you know, there are many different products like creams, gels, serums, lotions. Basically, serums and gels are the lighter ones and lotions and creams are the heavier products. So how to choose? For a dry skin, try to choose a hydrating product which is a heavier cream based one. It should be a water based one and also it should be fragrance free. Non-alcoholic products suit dry skin. For an oily skin, keep your products lighter. Choose serums or gels over heavier creams. You can choose matte products as well. For a sensitive skin, choose as less products as you can. Stick to only cleansing, moisturizing and protecting yourself. Use alcohol-free products, fragrance-free products, and hydrating ones. For acne-prone skin, make sure that the product you are using is non-pore clogging. These days, most of the products have labels on them. So make sure you look for a product that is non-pore clogging, water-based, oil-free, fragrance-free. Fragrance can aggravate acne. So always choose that kind of a product. Do not go for heavier creams or ointments when you have acne. Prefer gels or serums. For an aging skin, choose very hydrating products and make sure you use an anti-aging component called retinol. Also, for a normal to combination skin, you can choose either a light lotion or a serum. Now let's discuss the layering of the products. We always start with the lighter product first and then gradually move on to the heavier ones. You'll understand when I discuss further. So always start with cleansing your face first. Cleansing should be done once in the morning and once at night, twice compulsory. For those with excessively oily or greasy skin, you can choose to cleanse once more in the afternoon. Also, have you heard of the term double cleansing? Well, double cleansing is compulsory for those who love using makeup. So never ever sleep with your makeup, because if makeup is on, it may clog your pores and give you more acne and irritation. Also, what exactly is double cleansing? Well, on a cotton pad, before you use a face wash, you can take some of an alcohol-free micellar water or makeup remover. Make sure it's alcohol-free. Dab it on your skin, cleanse it gently, make sure all the dirt and debris are out. Or you can also use an oil-based cleanser. Once you rinse this, you can again wash with your basic cleanser. So I personally prefer double cleansing twice to thrice a week. Rest of the days I use the normal cleanser, that is single cleansing. But I genuinely request for those who use makeup and those who are out in the pollution for a longer time to double cleanse either every day or at least 2 to 3 times a week. After your cleanser comes your toners. You can use toners. Now I'm using the word can because it does not belong to the 3 fundamentals of cleansing, moisturizing and protecting. Toners should be used only by people who have an oily skin. Again, not compulsory. Toners can irritate dry skin, so please don't use it if your skin is dry or sensitive. Make sure the toner is alcohol free and preferably fragrance free. I prefer using toners at night because sometimes it may react to the UV rays, so don't use it in the day. After the toner comes the serums. Serums are preferably used by oily skin as they cannot tolerate the greasy creams. They can also be used by dry or sensitive skin if you wish to. Now, there are some basic serums that I'm going to tell you about. One that you can use is a vitamin C serum. It is excellent for keeping your skin tone light. It is good for anti-aging and it gives an added benefit with the sunscreen. So you can use a vitamin C serum. You could opt for a hyaluronic acid serum. Hyaluronic acid is excellent to keep the integrity of your skin barrier and it is a very good moisturizing agent. You can also use something like a niacinamide serum, which again is good for anti-pigmentation, anti-acne and anti-aging. It depends on what you need actually. After your serum comes your moisturizer. Now, as we discussed earlier, your moisturizer can be a serum or a gel based one if you have like a sensitive skin or an oily skin. And otherwise, if you have a very dry skin, go for a cream or lotion based moisturizer. But there is no excuse to this step. You have to moisturize once in the morning, once at night, whether your skin is dry or oily. The only difference will be the type of product that you choose. Remember, our skin barriers are very sensitive. Especially being Indians, our skins are genetically prone to damage by the pollution and the constant stress that we live in. So moisturizing is a very important step. Now, next comes your sunscreen. This is my personal and most favorite step which I never ever skip, and I request you all to use a sunscreen whether you are indoors or outdoors. Now you will ask me why. So it doesn't matter if you are at home or working in your office in a closed environment, because we all are constantly in front of our TVs, our computer screens, mobiles, laptops. There are LED lights. We are surrounded by something called as visible light or blue light. Now this visible light is equally harmful as the ultraviolet or the UV rays from the sun. Now these lights not just give you tanning or increased pigmentation, but more than that, it does not let your skin repair and it ages your skin faster. So using a sun protection is the most important step. You should be using an SPF, that is sun protection factor, of more than 30, at least 30, or you can go up to 50. Also again, a lot of people complain that sunscreen makes me feel very sticky and oily. Don't worry, for people with oily skin, I already told you, there are many gel based and matte sunscreens available. So you can go to your markets, go to your medical stores and ask for one. Now this that we discussed is a routine for people with normal skin. Now in case you are getting yourself treated for maybe your pigmentation or acne or anything, your doctor may have given you an active ingredient to treat the specific issue. This active ingredient, where does it go? It goes on top of your moisturizer in the morning and under your sunscreen, and at night it can be used as the last step, that is just on top of your moisturizer. Also, for those who want to start using your anti-aging product, that is retinol. Retinol is an excellent agent to prevent fine lines and wrinkles. Now, it is a big myth that anti-aging has to be started only after your 40s or your 50s. No, your skin starts degrading and depleting as early as in your 20s. So if you have a normal or combination skin and you do not have any issues and you are not under any other treatment, my suggestion would be to use a retinol based product every night on top of your moisturizer as early as from your 20s. Also, there are various other products like scrubs and astringents, but I don't prefer using them very often. You can use a scrub if you have a normal to oily skin, but only once a month or maximum twice a month. Don't be very harsh in rubbing your skin, as rubbing and using harsh product affects your barrier a lot. Also, try not to over exfoliate or over dry your skin. Especially people with oily skin, they tend to over dry their skin, but that again gives you further acne and makes your skin even more irritated. Now, along with these, there are 5 areas which we often tend to forget. So while you are maintaining your skincare routine, don't forget your under eyes. Okay, if you have an under eye issue, you can choose to use a special under eye cream, very tiny amount, at night, not necessary in the morning, around your eyes on top of your moisturizer. Do not forget your lips. Lips are very sensitive and they often tend to dry and pigment. The more they dry, the more they'll pigment. So make sure you are applying a lip balm or a simple Vaseline petroleum jelly every day as required. Also, do not forget your lips as well require sunscreen. So there are many products in the market, many lip balms which already have an SPF, or you can use your simple lip balm and make sure while using your sunscreen you are applying some on your lips as well. Next is your neck. We often tend to forget the neck and the nape, that is the area behind the neck. Now remember, the skin of your neck and the nape is far more sensitive than the skin of your face. It ages faster. It starts showing fine lines and wrinkles even faster than your normal face skin, because it has very less oil glands or sebaceous glands. So it needs a lot of hydration. So whatever products you use on your face, do not forget to use them on your neck up to the décolletage and also on the nape. Another important part that we often forget are our hands and also our feet. Remember, we are constantly working with our hands, and especially in this COVID era, We tend to wash our hands and use sanitizers very often. This damages our hand skin a lot. Make sure you moisturize them every day. What I do, whatever products I'm using on my face and whatever remains on my fingertips, I make sure to use the extra bit on my hands so I don't have to moisturize it separately. Again, last part is your feet. Take care of your feet. Make sure you cleanse them every time you come back home after going out. Moisturize your feet every single day. Let's talk about acne. Acne is actually a very wide topic, but I'm going to try to cover the basics. What causes acne? Whenever there is clogging of the pores on the skin, whether with the oil from the oil glands or sebaceous glands or dirt or debris, there is inflammation of the sebaceous glands and it gives rise to blackheads, whiteheads, which leads to reddish boils, or it may be a pus-filled boil, or whenever the acne is severe, you may also see a very deep cyst. So, what are the different causes of acne? Well, there are external and internal causes. Talking about the internal causes, the most important one is stress, be it mental, physical or environmental. Any kind of stress triggers inflammation, giving rise to acne. The second most common, which is related to stress, is hormonal imbalance. Now, the hormonal imbalance may be the normal physiological one or an external one. The normal one being the hormonal changes faced by teenagers, and that is why acne is very common in teenagers. Also, a lot of females experience acne as a premenstrual syndrome. Acne is also very common due to hormonal fluctuation as a woman tends to go towards her menopause and even after menopause. Not just this, many hormonal issues like PCOS related imbalance in the androgens or thyroid issues may also lead to a lot of acne. Also, a lot of people with indigestion issues like acidity, constipation also flares up the inflammation in the sebaceous glands, giving you acne, especially on the forehead. Again, similar kind of acne is also seen when people have a lot of dandruff. Hormonal acne, whereas, is seen on the lower part, and dandruff or indigestion related acne is seen on the forehead. So, what are the external causes of acne? Well, the first and foremost cause that can trigger acne are your food. Well, remember, milk can trigger a lot of acne in people who are sensitive. So, it's not like you don't have to have milk, but try limiting your milk if you are acne prone. Second comes your sugar intake. Sugar causes a lot of inflammation on the sebaceous glands and is very bad for your skin repair. Next is excessive amount of consumption of whey protein. Not just this, these days we have a habit of having a lot of junk food, a lot of food that is refined, the packaged food, the fried food. These cause your glycemic index to increase, giving rise to acne. Also your chocolates. So if you are fond of chocolates, try having a dark chocolate that is more than 70% dark, because the sugar in the chocolate may give you acne. The next factor is mechanical causes. The most common example that I can give right now, which most of us are facing, is mask acne. Yes, that's a real thing. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why you guys are getting a lot of acne on your face all of a sudden. Well, that's because of the mask that we wear. Whether it is a cloth mask or the proper surgical mask. Of course, cloth masks are better. But what happens is, we wear masks very often now. The material of the mask irritates the skin by causing friction. Not just that, we breathe and talk inside the mask, so it creates a lot of humidity, and when the humidity dries, the pores get clogged and irritated, giving rise to acne. So one thing that you can do here is, before wearing the mask and immediately after wearing the mask, apply a moisturizer that will help in preventing the friction to some level. Also, do not wear your makeup inside your mask, because the friction of the mask clogs the makeup particles even more into the pores and gives you more acne. So be careful of the mask acne, because Mask is going to be a part of our life for many months now. Also, there are other mechanical factors, like some people having, some girls having fringes, or guys with longer hair. The irritation and friction of the hair also can give you acne over here. Many people also have a habit of using hair styling sprays or gels. They can give you acne. Not just this, we all, almost everybody, have a habit of popping and squeezing our acne or touching our face again and again. That is a big mistake. If you tend to pop or squeeze your acne, you are going to leave a mark, and God forbid, you may leave a deep scar. And it is very difficult to treat scars. So do not touch your face. That's the first rule. Other than this, for those who are working out, back and arm acne is also very common. That's because of the mechanical friction by the clothes, and also because of the sweat. So please bathe immediately after your workouts. Certain medicines can also cause acne, like some bodybuilders or people who like to build muscles tend to consume steroid based medicines, or many pregnant females while trying to conceive or during pregnancy are put on certain hormonal medications. They may also get some acne. Not just this, using the wrong product or overusing your products may also give you acne. So while choosing any product, like we discussed before in our previous session, please be careful in looking at the proper labels. Your product should be very light, that is, it should be serum or gel based preferably. It should be water based, oil free, alcohol free, fragrance free. More than that, the most important thing is it should be non-pore clogging. See, non-pore clogging doesn't mean the product will not give you acne at all, but it will at least be a preventive measure. So be very careful in choosing your product. Also, not using a sun protection is another big mistake, as sun's rays can damage the skin's repair. So your acne will not get repaired, but they may keep increasing. So what can we do to treat or prevent acne? Well, some of the tips I already gave you when I told you about the causes. What else can you do? First rule, do not self-medicate. That is the worst thing that you're doing to your skin. Do not go for Dr. Google, because Dr. Google is only going to spoil your skin. Second, no DIYs, that is do it yourself at home. Many of the people around you must be telling you to apply toothpaste, garlic cloves or tuna, and I think somebody asked me a question regarding that as well. Please do not apply any of this, not even baking soda. This is only and only going to make your acne worse, and it will leave marks for sure. Third is, any skin treatment, especially acne treatment, requires a lot of patience. Be patient, be consistent in your treatments, do as your doctor says, and you will see the results. But remember, your acne treatment is going to take anywhere from 6 to 10 months. So do not be in a hurry, or do not go for any miracle treatment, because there is nothing like a miracle treatment. Your acne treatment is going to go slow. Now, what is the most important factor? Lifestyle changes. Very important. First and foremost, have a well-balanced diet. Do not skip on any nutrition. Have your fruits and vegetables, your proteins, especially vegetarians. We always lack in proteins. Make sure you include proteins in your diet. Avoid all the products, all the food products that are causing acne. Have your dals, have your sprouts, pulses, everything. Also, exercise. Exercise is the most important in treating any skin issue, because that is the only thing that balances out your stress levels. Third is weight control. Obesity leads to a lot of hormonal imbalance and can be one of the causes for your acne. So make sure you are maintaining your weight. Proper hydration is very important. Adequate sleep is also very important. Did I mention smoking causes acne? So yes, all those who smoke, please keep this in mind, whether you want your acne or your smoke. There are some basic things that you can do at home if you have mild acne, or acne have just started, or you have a tendency towards it. First is cleansing properly. Okay, remember that acne can be caused on oily as well as dry skin. So if you have an oily skin, do not try to over dry it. Do not scrub your face, with an aim to over dry it, because dry skin will increase your acne. About 2 to 3 times a week, you can use a glycolic acid or a salicylic acid based face wash. There are certain benzoyl peroxide acid based face washes as well, but make sure you use them only twice or thrice a week. On the other days, use your routine gentle face washes. Next, what you can do is, there are 2.5% benzoyl peroxide based gels available. You can try those on your acne. But the two most important things are maintaining your skin barrier. So moisturizing is very important. Also, sun protection. Another important thing, do it every day. Ideally, you should be repeating your sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours. That's not practically possible, but at least try to do it twice a day. If, in spite of all this, your acne is not under control or it keeps increasing, it's time to visit a dermatologist, because it is better to take an advice from an expert than taking advice from Dr. Google or self-medicating. So, go to your dermatologist. What a dermatologist will do is, he or she will evaluate you, look for the root cause, maybe get you tested for some hormonal issues like PCOS or any androgen based issues, treat you accordingly with creams, certain tablets if required, vitamins if required, and there are certain external treatments as well, like skin polishing and chemical peels, pigmentation lasers, scar lasers. They sound very tricky and difficult and dangerous to hear, but trust me, they are not. So go ahead, trust your dermatologist, because he or she are the best ones to treat your acne. So in my talk, I think I have covered almost all the questions asked by you guys, but there are 3-4 other questions. One is, do ice cubes cure acne? No, they don't cure acne. You can just ice your face to feel relaxed, and icing may reduce the appearance of your pores, but doesn't cure acne. What is the best makeup to cover acne? Well, there is nothing like best. You can try using your concealers to cover your acne. But yes, very important tip for acne prone skin who want to use a makeup: use only water based makeup, use powder based makeup. Don't use those greasy gel based, cream based makeup. Okay, your makeup should be oil free, and do not forget to remove your makeup before you sleep. Don't sleep with makeup. The next is, does 7 skin method work? Now, 7 skin method, for those who don't know, it is a Korean method of skincare routine, wherein there are 7 different steps for morning and 7 for night. Honestly, I don't know whether it works or not. It works on Koreans, but Indian genetics are different. But I feel it's a waste of time. As I mentioned earlier, do only that is required for your face. Do not try to overuse products. Try to layer your products appropriately. As I mentioned, less is more. If you don't want to add extra steps, stick to 3 steps: cleanse, moisturize, protect. Alright? One more question. Vitamin C irritates my skin at times. Why? Well, sensitive skins may feel a little irritated with vitamin C serums at times because of the difference in the pH levels. But don't worry. What you can do is, you can do a patch test before using the vitamin C serum, or you can use a cream based vitamin C. Do not forget to sun protect yourself, and if there is still an irritation, you can ask your doctor. So yes guys, I think I end my session over here, and I would like to appreciate Leo Club of Bombay Uptown for bringing up this initiative of knowledge. It's very good for a lot of us, and I really appreciate President Leo Urmi Lodaya and Leo Khushbu for coordinating with me regarding the session. I'm glad to be a part of y'all. So yes, if y'all have any more queries, you can DM me. My Instagram ID is dr_Saloni, SALONI, Vora, VORA. And I work at Juhu Clinic. For those of y'all requiring treatments, y'all can always contact me. If y'all are hesitant to get out of your house, I also do video consultations. So take care, guys.